Today, I want to have a quick conversation about the state of the handyman business. Right now, it's what, April? It was about to be May. So we're like well into the second quarter of the year. And, just wanted to have a discussion, man. Like, what's going on? Is it busy? Is it a good time to start? Just cover a few things, all right? So let's get into it. Honestly, there's never a wonderful time to start a business. At least it doesn't seem like it. You're always gonna think the market is saturated and, the economy's bad. And we got some things going on right now, just making the economy, making it tough. Because yes, right now, things are expensive, man. And it's not just supplies. Even though we're not having the supply chain issues we had in like 2020, where things were just jumping up, doubling, tripling in price. And, remember back when a sheet of OSB was like $50, $60? We're not necessarily having that issue right now, but we do have just prices creeping up. It's always a running joke around here with us where it's like, dude, man, you can't walk in a store without paying $100. You can't walk in Dollar Tree without paying $100. It don't matter where you go. So you just got to come out knowing that things are just more expensive. We already had the whole issue with inflation over the past few years. Has just been getting crazy. I mean, when I say expense, things are just higher. When I got my trailer, right? This trailer right here. When I got that trailer, dude, it was 2020. It was out the door. It was $3,400 taxes, tags included. Like I got a tag for like 5 years, like 34, maybe it's 3,500. But I just looked it up, man. That the same exact trailer right now. It's on sale at the place that I bought it from, but it's on sale for like $6,000. Like the regular price is like $7,000 now, like doubled in price. So you might not even need that, but just understand where expenses have gone, like the prices, inflation. Like inflation is not going crazy right now, but the years of inflation that we had, it did do some work on these prices out here, man. So, but there are always ways to combat that, like buying things in bulk. That's a big deal, man. It's a big deal to be able to go and buy your supplies in bulk. Everything from paint brushes to paint. Like you just, you buy in bulk, you just save money. So, look into things like that, but just understand things are a little more expensive now. So, but you got to plan for it. Now, even though the economy's tough, you're still going to have to spend money. And I say, if you have to spend money, you need good tools and a good CRM. Matter of fact, a great CRM to help you run your business. And for me, y'all already know it's Jobber. I told you before, things like this. See that? Look at this. Welcome. They got a personal welcoming message from me. But look at that. See that button right there? Clock in. Something like that where I told you, one of the things you're going to have to know is how long these jobs take you. And it's just as simple as hitting that button, just clock it in. Clock it in when you get in, clock it out. A very efficient way to help you keep track. Now for my business phone, I use an iPhone, right? They got tap to pay. Just like I said, the professionalism you have when you're at your customer's house and they're ready to pay, and you just boop. I'm trying to tell you, that's how you separate yourself. You set yourself apart from the competition. Believe it or not, there's still people out here doing paper receipts, paper contracts, like the whole thing. There's even a feature you can have your contract in there. And once they accept, you can have them sign. You can have them sign right on the phone. There's so many possibilities. One day I'm gonna have to just do a whole video, maybe a live stream, just talking about all the features with Jobber, because it's just too much to get into right now. All right, so use my link, it's in the description. Save you some money, man. I'm trying to tell you, Jobber, you can't go wrong. Another thing to be aware of, y'all see what's going on with the gas right now. Gas is a monster. So that's really affecting people who are, of course, driving a lot. But in this business, it doesn't hurt me that much because I do a lot of middle-sized jobs and I'm really, really, really local. really local. So a lot of jobs I'm doing, that's 5 minutes from here, and I'm there for, you know, days. So I don't have a major issue with gas. But man, if you're doing a lot of little jobs, you're doing a lot of installs, you're doing just a lot of those things, the money's gonna add up. The gas is gonna add up. And I used to be there. Now, when I was doing a lot of traveling and bouncing from job to job, gas wasn't over $4 a gallon. Then it wasn't costing me $100 to fill up my gas tank. And that's what it is now. So you got to take that into consideration, especially with your pricing, that if you're going to be doing these little jobs, it's going to cost, and this gas is really going to affect you. There was a time when I was filling up my gas tank twice a week, right? So just think if that was now, and I'm doing $200 a week just on gas, right? It could be even worse, where, you know, I'm doing, maybe I got a couple extra jobs or whatever, I'm doing $300 a week on gas now. That's huge. We're talking about $1,200 in gas a month that has to be accounted for. So you got to take that into consideration when you're pricing your jobs, right? So that's part of what's going on right now, where, you know, expenses are just high, and they're getting higher. So be aware. Now, it wouldn't be a state of the handyman union if we didn't talk about call volume. Helicopter, man. All right, we get it. Yeah, everybody watch the helicopter. Okay. All right. Call volume. Are we still getting the same amount of calls? You know what I mean? Are you still able to generate the same amount of calls as you were before? Because a lot of guys, I'll be honest with you, a lot of guys are saying they're a little slow. They're a little slow right now. And in different industries, you know, some industries are worse than others. In ours, I will say that now here's the caveat. I don't advertise, right? So I gotta Google my business, but that's it. I don't have any kind. I'm not paying for any leads or anything like that. And I do feel like the volume of calls is down. Now, here's the caveat. I don't advertise, right? I mean, I have a Google My Business listing, but I don't, I'm not paying for leads, or I'm not paying for any kind of advertisements on anything. And I would say that I think the call volume is down a little bit. I do. I think, and rightfully so, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, with everything going up, people are trying to protect their pennies, protect their little coins, whatever, their shillings. Like, whatever they have, they're trying to hold on to it. So I get it. And of course, on our end, we got a lot of guys that are being taught to charge the maximum and then double that, and then, charge triple. So you got, a lot of customers that are skittish because they like, man, I just had a lady, man, that felt so bad for her, man. She's about 85. She was 85. And she called me because she is having issues trying to put these last few hinges on her doors. An 85-year-old lady trying to put these hinges on these exterior doors. I was like, okay, I'll come through, and, it's a minimum price job for me, but whatever. I'll come over. And so I went over there, I was talking to her, and she had a guy that came over there, and she was like, she thought he was all right, because, he was in the little local paper or whatever, in their little community paper. And she was like, man, the dude put hinges on the front door, then he put hinges on the back door, and charged, he put hinges on the front door, he put hinges on the back door, and he changed the handle on the storm door. Charged the woman $800. $800. Now, here's my thing. You can do that, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff will come back to you, man. I don't care. So there's a lot of people that are getting taught, charge until people say no. But some people don't know they can say no. Some people, like, you're kind of taking advantage of them because they just don't know any better. All right, so you're getting a lot of people that are going out hitting people with these insane charges. So this 85-year-old lady changed the hinges in the rest of her house by herself until she got to a couple that she just couldn't do. And really it was just, she wasn't strong enough, to put your back into it a little bit and get the screws out. But we have a lot of people that are going out hitting people in the head for these ridiculous prices. then you wonder why you get so many more DIY people out here. So people are trying to figure out how to just do it themselves. And I get it, I understand. So yes, call volume might be down, but there are things you can do about that. You know, like I said, you got to diversify your jobs, where your jobs are coming from. You know, I told you residential is my bread and butter. I love it. I just love dealing me, customer, directly, no middleman. That's what I like. I've been doing a lot more commercial work here lately though. And I've been getting a lot more commercial work calls. And I don't know where you find commercial work. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I do say once you get your presence, an online presence, commercial work just seems to find you. So I've been doing a lot more commercial work now. Of course, the difference is you're gonna have to, you know, put out some money up front for commercial work and get paid on the back end. So you're gonna have to have a little bit of a war chest in order to do that. If you look for stability and stable job, property managers are always great. And realtors, they can be difficult depending on what end they're on. You know what I mean? They're a seller, they're the buyer's realtor. You know, how willing are these people to spend some money to get the work done? But they're there. People are still selling houses and buying houses right now, even with the economy the way that it is. So there's money out here. You just gotta figure out the best route to go to get it. There's still freedom. There's freedom in doing this kind of work. Like I said, I'm out here on a nice sunny day, nice breeze outside, just hanging out, talking to y'all, you know, chopping it up about the handyman business. You know, I'm gonna do some work today, but I have it scheduled for when I have it scheduled for. That's one of the beauties of doing this. You know, also, like I said, if you do know how to charging what you're worth and charging what you need to charge, there's plenty of money to be made. Just remember that right now, expenses are high. You know, call volume is down. I didn't say it's low though. Call volume is down, but it's low. But I would think that if you were, you know, if I would start advertising or you could pay for leads, and let's get this understood, this little pay for leads thing. I think people get the game twisted when they talk about paying for leads. Everybody pays for leads. Okay, we gotta get this thing out of here. Unless you, the only time you truly are not paying for your leads is if you're doing property management companies or something like that, right? But if you're getting residential, you're getting new work and new customers, you're paying for your leads. And whether you pay directly to a service or whether you pay for advertising or you pay somebody to set up your website and do SEO, it's all paying for leads. It's all paying for leads. So we got to stop this thing where, you know, we try to have a semantical argument, you know, and try to, you know, talk around things. They're all paying for leads. You should have a marketing budget. Like, and if you choose to market by paying for this expensive wrap for your truck and putting out bandit signs, wonderful. Wonderful. You know what I mean? If you choose, look, in the beginning, I paid for leads. I paid for leads straight up. The thing is, you don't want to pay for bad leads. Ain't nothing wrong with paying for a lead. Like, I don't care if it was $100 lead and it turned into a $5,000 job. Who wouldn't trade that? So to act like it's just a terrible idea to ever pay for leads, man, like, no. So you might have to pay for a lead or two. You might have to use a service to help build your clientele. And it's all right. It's all right. You know what I mean? But you just got to make sure that you set a budget and you try to stay within the budget. Use certain apps. There are apps that are cheaper, like Nextdoor or, you know, even Facebook and advertising on Facebook. There are ways to do it where you can spend less, but we all got to market. Are you in business or are you not? Like, which one is it? So when it comes down to it, I mean, of course you can start one of these businesses now. You just got to have a plan. You just don't want to jump out there and just, you know, well, I'm just going to do anything that comes, because you'll realize very quickly that it's being a handyman is one reason. There's a big reason why there are a lot of contractors out there that say, like, man, I'd never, ever, ever, ever want to be a handyman. And they, you know, and that's the big part of it, is like the amount of tools and the amount of things you got to have to be able to do all these jobs. And, you know, how you're going to scale, because in order to scale, you'd have to have what kind of employees are going to be able to do everything. You know what I mean? It's much easier to be able to go find an employee that can just paint than it is to find one that can paint and do drywall and do plumbing and do, like, you know, who you trying to find out here, right? Then all the, like, it's a very hard thing to do. So that's why, like, somebody like me, it's just much easier to stay solo. When I need help, I just go find help. As far as the freedom and just being out here, just doing my own thing, getting my own jobs, you know, if I want to take a week off, I just take a week off. If I just want to take a couple days, I move to the beat of my own drum. You know what I'm saying? Like, this business, and I think any service business can drive you crazy. It fluctuates, there are ups and downs. There's gonna be times when your phone's gonna be ringing off the hook. You'll be ready. You'll be looking at the phone. You'll be mad at the phone, like it's the phone's fault for just ringing too much. Be ready to throw the phone out on the interstate. Just like, enough. Just, you know, even though you could just silence it or something, but, you know, it just, it'll start driving you crazy with the phone ringing too much. And then it'll go to the opposite. The phone will stop ringing. And man, you might be balled up in the dark in the corner of your closet with you just staring at your phone, just with tears coming down your face, like, just make some noise, please. Just please make some noise. I'm telling you, man, it's highs and lows, but once you get used to the ebbs and flows and see how the year works and the slow times, and you prepare for it, dude, it's a beautiful thing. Well, Daryl, also known as the finisher. Stay safe, be blessed, and remember, if the trades don't work, nothing else does.